So this is going to be like my version of the secret to success using my own story. Now, I touched on this in a previous video. I think it was that video about the three things. But I'm going to use like my story, like up into like starting Agro Salons to kind of, I guess, drive home the point. But short answer is focus and discipline. Like that's the secret. But I'm going to again break this down in my life. So essentially what had happened was I moved from Dallas to Denver. I felt I had like outgrown where I was at, and I was also tired of my surroundings, and I also had kids on the way. And what I did not want to do was be in the mix and be engaging with old friends and all of that bullshit. And my life had not been figured out. I'm like, that's going to be extremely detrimental to be like hanging out, going out while that's happening. So I'm like, let me go somewhere else. So I made the decision like in one day, like literally, like I'm gone. So we literally like packed up, took the essentials. We had three cars at the time. We just took one and drove 12 hours. We didn't even have a place to live. uh, but now I did like look online at like two places, so we checked them out. We picked like the second place or whatever. So like as soon as we got down there, we secured the apartment. And what happened was prior to that, I was doing the cell phone thing, buying and reselling cell phones, made decent money and all of that stuff. And but what happened was that went down. Like there was no more. Now I still have the skill of the cell phone thing, and I did attempt to continue to do that while I was there, but that's not truly what I wanted to do. I didn't like that business. I only liked the money. It was too much risk, too much dealing with weird people, all of that shit. And it's funny because as soon as I got to Denver and, attempted to jump in, like my first experience was like some funny shit. And my second experience, I'm like, you know what? Y'all can have this shit. I don't even want it. So stop doing that. And I had got this new truck. It's a Tahoe. Cause I'm thinking I'm a big genius, smart guy, businessman. And I initially got the truck in Dallas to have like my cousin drive Uber, and we would like, come up with some type of split. The story may get a little long, but walk with me. I'm going to get to my point. Have my cousin drive Uber. That shit did not work at all. Like in Dallas, it's just not enough money to be passed around. The only time that may work is if it's Uber Black. And what I learned, I believe, after I got the truck was in order to be Uber Black, you technically needed to be like a limo service, which you would need to, I think, invest in the license or something. So it was just a lot of moving parts. So that didn't work, but now I'm stuck with this truck and I'm stuck with a car note, like another car note, and a high car note at that. And I'm sitting back thinking like all of the cars that I would have actually got, you know, if I was willing to spend this much money per month on the car. But anyway, so the car was, I think, still registered for Uber, but I think we had to do some stuff once we got there. So I eventually like flew my cousin out there to come like apply or whatever for Uber, and I had to fucking drive Uber. I'm like, now imagine that shit. Again, you're this like so smart entrepreneur, money making guy, but it's like you're driving Uber. Like I don't think you're that smart. And it's like no offense or no shade to anybody that drives Uber. Like, do your thing. But what it was it was a reflection of my skills. Like, I mean, I'm talking shit about being smart, but that was the thing. It's like, it's one thing to think you're smart, and it's another thing to actually like be smart. And that was a conversation I had to have with myself. I'm like, well, I don't get it. If you're so smart, like people claim, like they've been telling you you're smart your whole life, but what have you done that's smart? This is me talking to myself. And I'm like, if you're so smart, why the fuck are you driving for Uber? But I didn't have no choice because I needed to make money and I was low skilled. But I didn't know that at the time. So I did that for a little while, and it was just not making sense. Like, it's like I was driving all of these hours, and it was just enough really to cover the fucking car note and insurance, I guess. And one day I'm like, you know what? Fuck this Uber shit. I just stopped like cold turkey. But at the same time, in my free time, I would be on the internet. I had started a blog. And I was like looking up still like how to make money online. And I started a blog and started getting familiar with SEO. So that was like my first dive into trying to make money online. I don't think I made any money though. If I did, it was like $1 or something. But I knew that was possible, and I knew that's what I wanted to do. So I quit Uber cold turkey, and I'm like, that's what I'm gonna do. So that's step one to the secret. You need a target. You need clear like direction, especially like where you're going, what you're doing. So that was I knew without any doubt like I wanted to make money online. So that's step one. Step two is the ability to focus. So how did that come about? Like one day, I don't know why. One day I literally cut like all of my friends off. Like every last one of them. These are like 10-year relationships. I mean, I could be judged for that. But I just like blocked everyone. I'm like, you know what? And I had my reasons. Like I knew that my friends were not trying to go where I was going. And I didn't really know where I was going. I just knew what I wanted, and I knew what I did not want. And I'm like, I just know deep down inside that you can't do both. You can't try to juggle these relationships, and you know they're distracting you. And I've even voiced this to these friends, like, hey, I'm not really into that. I would, prefer if you not involve me. But it's like, people are not trying to hear that. And I don't want to have a conversation about it again. So it's like, hey, I'm going to just let you do your thing and I'll do my thing. Now, I didn't even say anything. I just literally just disappeared. So that's what gave me the ability to focus. I no longer had any more distractions because while my friends were such a distraction was because they would come to me with their problems. I would be consumed by everyone's problem around me to the point where I didn't even understand or realize that I had problems myself. Because it's like, I don't know, it's tricky. It's like when people be telling you your problems, you start thinking like, I don't know, maybe you're like somewhat different or something. I don't know, like you're perfect. But my problems all popped up at once. So I did that. They gave me the ability to focus. So I was able to focus on my task distraction free, like especially like external distractions. And what happened was we had spent the year in Denver, and so I basically came back to Texas free of everything. Free of bills, free of debt, free of distractions that came in the form of friends. I was just in a different space, different level, and I just knew I had to work. So the next thing is discipline. When I got back to Texas, like I had the strongest ability in the world to say no. Like everything was a no. And when I say no, this is what I mean by discipline. Like no one could sidetrack me at all with anything. I was not trying to hear it. I didn't do Christmas, Thanksgiving, birthday dinners, none of this shit. I'm like, y'all can have it all. I'll pass. And they're like, oh, this boy is crazy. I just thought that was so funny because, like, fast forward, and it's like niggas barely get together for Christmas anymore. They barely get, because it's like now, niggas is in the struggle. So it's like everyone should have been setting out that time. And I don't know even the last time I ever heard of somebody doing a birthday dinner. Like, literally, I think that was the last time, and this was like in 2017, like 7 years ago. And all I did was work. And I mean, I was putting in hours and hours and hours because I really had no choice. And I kind of had talked so much shit, not on purpose, but I had, kind of talked so much shit. I had to prove what I was doing, like, was going to pay off. And that was the thing, like, I didn't know when. I was under the impression that this was going to happen, like, within, I don't know, 6 months. And it was just not realistic. And I was putting in all of these hours. Now, going back, if I was to start over with what I know now, I probably could get it done in 6 months. The thing that took time, so there's levels to focus. Being able to focus on the task at hand, which was like, hey, we're going to make money online, that's level one. But once you get into the mix, you got to focus on the one thing. It's like, how are you going to make money online? Because there's a million ways. And what happened was, I was, again, trying to do everything under the sun. I think I've talked about this in the previous live, but I had like 10 websites going. I was doing shit on Fiverr. Just everything, and not focusing on one thing. So that's why I say, if I go back now in 6 months, because I would just pick one thing and stick to that. Because whatever it is, I can make it work. You just need time, energy, and effort, focus into that one thing. So that's the second level of discipline or focus, like being able to laser focus on the one thing and get that done. And I was thinking like 6 months, then it's like 8 months, and 12 months, then 24 months. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? But I never got deterred, and I always kept working, always digging and digging and digging. And I'm putting in like 10, 12-hour days. And the funniest part is, I don't do that now. Like, in comparison, I'm so lazy. And I'm trying to get back to that. Well, we don't even do the word trying. I'm figuring out how to get back to that hunger. It's like when you make the money, it's like, you try to relax a little bit, but then you start learning, like, this is not it at all. Like, this is like the new poverty. But yeah, like 10, 12-hour days, and it was nothing because I was hungry and determined, and I had to make it work. So we're at like the 5-year mark pretty much. Like, iGrow Salon started in 2018. So we're like 2 years before iGrow Salons even started. And iGrow Salons was basically a culmination of everything I learned and failed at in those 2 years. Started in 2018. Then from there, it took like 2 years for me to make like significant money with like the money that I was actually looking for. So we're talking about like 4 or 5 years of focus, of discipline, no friends, like none of that, to actually, like, from scratch start a business and get it up and running. So it's a few different things that you can take from this video. Obviously, focus and discipline, because that's what it's about. But consistency and also expectations. I work with a lot of business owners who say things like, and this is so common, like, they'll hit me up about ads and be like, oh, I'm just getting back into it. That's like a red flag to me. Because I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, fuck off. Because you're looking to be saved, and that's not even how ads work. And it just breeds a bad relationship, because they'll usually don't have money. Matter of fact, somebody just hit me up. If you're watching, no shade to you. Somebody just hit me up yesterday, and they were like, "How much to set up ads?" And when I told them the price, they're like, "Oh, well, I thought I seen something for $97." I'm like, now I did have something for $97, but I also said like this was like a few weeks ago or maybe months ago, and I'm like, this is the last time at this price, and that wasn't that. Meaning, what this person needs is not just ad setup. That person actually needs to like figure their business out. And people think like ads is like a quick fix to being a shitty business owner, and it's not. You can spend $1 million on ads and have the worst shittiest business, and you would just have spent $1 million on ads and not get one sale. So, expectations. Set proper expectations, and don't think that there's just like there's gonna be this one magic silver bullet that's gonna like save your business. Like, it's gonna take time, focus, discipline. And that was the whole purpose of this video. Like, I see that a lot. It's like when I try to explain this to people, people are always under the impression they can do both. Like, if you're not a high level individual, like we're proof. I'm not talking about you think you're smart. Everybody think they fucking smart. Till it's time to do some smart shit. If you're not high level, like for real, like maybe your ass could have went to Harvard or something. Don't try to do both. And both basically just means trying to maintain your old life and your past self, and trying to transition into this new thing. Like, it's a conflict of interest. It doesn't work. Like, the math doesn't work on that, because you're like in too many different places. You have to like let go. And that's essentially what I did. Like, when I talk, look back, I look back at that situation as me like killing off my old self. And like, that guy was an ignorant like piece of shit, because I would do like stupid shit. Now, at the time it seemed fine, but like being older and looking back, I'm like, man, you was out here like fucking up for real. But it's like you have to be like somewhat mature to have these type of conversations with yourself and be like, I'm not all of that. And the answer is in your life. If you're like, so big and bad and fancy and smart, and you look at your life and you look around, it's like you're not really doing anything. Like, the outcome of all your efforts, the outcome of your intelligence, the outcome of the little small nuances you do differently than other people. Oh, you eat organic food. And that's a shot at me. But you're still netting like the same outcome. Like, are you really that? So you gotta go prove that shit. Stop talking so much shit. Natasha. I don't even know what you're replying facts to, because I know this YouTube is on the delay and I've been talking a lot of stuff, but hopefully this helps someone. I know this is a long video, but yeah, discipline, focus, setting proper expectations. Me personally, I think those are the secrets. And if you ask any high level entrepreneur, like for real high level, they're always going to say focus. They're always going to say discipline. And I've ignored that focus one like for forever, because even with iGrow Salons and me, building it up enough to take care of me and my family, I still was able to get sidetracked by many different, like they call it shiny object syndrome. I've done everything still, and I always end up back. Like, whatever money I'm trying to make in these new ventures or these things that seem easier, I could make in iGrow Salons. The issue is lack of skill. That's all it boils down to. I would cap out at a certain income because of the things that I'm not willing or ready to do. That's it. So if that's you stuck at, I don't know, 100K per month, 50K per month, 10K per month. You're just like stuck there. It's not everything else. It's just you just get more skills. But yeah, that's all I want to talk about. I'm at the gym now, so about to see some people playing pickleball. About to go hop on the court. So comment what y'all think. Like it, share it, subscribe. Thanks for watching.